Hey gym fans, this is Brian from World Art Gym, and today we're going to do a vintage video review. We're talking about the 1983 World Gymnastics Championships. A few disclaimers and a few notes. I try not to watch any of these videos beforehand. If I do make any mistakes with any gymnast names or the skills, I will try to fix that in editing. I am enjoying this the first time, and I hope that you guys enjoy it along with me. Another disclaimer is, let's try to appreciate that this was 1983 and the judging has indeed changed. So if you are going to look at it with a 2020 lens, this is not how the 1980s worked. There is going to be a lot of leniency on the judges' part. You will probably notice certain countries get benefit of the doubt. Is it deserved? In the case of the Soviet Union, they truly are ahead of the game. You're just going to notice the toes being pointed. Overall execution is beyond reproach for the Soviet Union. Down the road, you will see Romania and a few other countries peck away at the lead in which the Soviet Union had for such a long time. We're going to be talking about scores between the 9-7, 9-8, 9-9, and then obviously the perfect 10 range. Before 83 and all the way up to 88, each judge had the power to throw a 10th increment. So basically a 9.9 or a 10 or 9.8. Compulsory and optional team exercises, the judges have to round up or down. Was it more perfect than less perfect? Was it a 9.95 or above? You round up to a perfect 10. So you're going to see a lot of scores that are 10. Was it perfect? Not necessarily. What the judges are saying, okay, I have a choice between a 9.9 and a 10. They're going to round up, in some cases round down in others. Except for in event finals, the individual judges were able to throw 9.95s. It's an average of 4 scores. 9.912, 9.925, 9.937. So that's how the scoring works out. This was a little longer than I expected. We are going to start off the compulsory exercises. The very first round of competition, it did count half of the entire team score. Let's talk about some gymnastics. This is the 1983 World Championships compulsory round. Up first on floor exercise, Olga Bichurova, 1981 World All-Around Champion. Nice high layout into a side leap. And this is where you see the expression in the beautiful toe point. Front aerial walkover. I'm familiar with this exercise from watching the 84 Olympics. However, I have not seen this round of compulsories yet, so I'm seeing it for the first time with you guys. Front handspring. She has front tumbling into back tumbling, linking a front into a back. If I were a gymnast or a gymnast coach, in our optional exercise, we do some front and back tumbling. In that handstand pirouette, she did have lack of control. Probably going to be about a 10th. She almost went over the wrong way and had to take a few steps. And these are the back handsprings. Also into a straddle leap. She did have her feet apart upon landing that leap. I don't know if the judges will see it from their vantage point. But that full pirouette at the end into the pose was very well controlled. Overall, a pretty good exercise. One control issue, about a 10th of a point. And there you see it's a 9.85 for that floor exercise. And onto the vault, a handspring with a full twist. A lot of power on that one. She was really going for it. During this code of points, the gymnast did 2 compulsory vaults and the best score was taken. This is her second vault of 2. That's more like it. That was a well-controlled, she found the landing right there. Maybe a little bit of a hop. I don't think they'll throw a 10, probably a 9.9. Definitely more controlled for Olga Bucharova. All right, they did not like it as much as I did. A 9.8 and a 9.7. The final score is a 9.75. Olga Mastepanova on the uneven bars. Well controlled, double leg cut. Front hip circle, right to handstand, and nice flare of the hand there. Also to handstand on that transition skill. Very well controlled. A gorgeous style. And she stuck that dismount perfectly. It's like she just floats through the air. Mastepanova is a great gymnast. I'm seeing a bunch of 9.9s. I don't think she got a perfect 10 on that one. On the balance beam, we have Natalia Yurchenko, famous for several skills on the balance beam and, of course, the vault. So she does a back handspring. To see her already have a balance check, it's slightly surprising. She is a great beam worker. Wanted to hold on to a vertical handstand position. Balance check, loss of rhythm. I'm really surprised that she had those breaks already because she is known as an absolutely beautiful beam worker, very fluid. She might be holding back a little bit. Better control that front walk over. Nice and slow, deliberate in every movement. And you see the balletic training. She covers very well. Not knowing this routine, that might have been a deduction. I'm not as familiar with the routine. A little hop right there. She covered well. A 9.8. Nowadays, if you were looking at that, you would probably have almost a point deductions. We're going to jump over to China, and we're going to start on the uneven bars. So same exact routine as we saw from Mastepanova, we're going to be able to compare. A little close on the recatch there. The judges want to see a little further away upon recatch, which allows them to swing into it, but that's a beautiful handstand right there. Straight to the handstand on the transitional release. She's moving very smoothly. Oh, perfect handstand. She held it, and then she has a hecht straddle. Those kinds of skills were very common in the 1960s and 70s. As the sport evolved, it turned into a compulsory dismount. Onto the balance beam. I feel a little more confident based on watching Yurchenko before. Flexibility right there. Absolutely beautiful control on the toes. She pushes off that back handspring step out with control and grace. She's working very well. This is a pleasure to watch. Full pirouette without any issue whatsoever. Right, she didn't hold the handstand either, and she looked to have rushed it. I'm really gonna have to go back and see what the skill is supposed to look like. Not a deduction, not a wobble, part of that choreography. You want to see that leap 180 degrees. Controlled into that front walkover. For the most part, she's working very well. Nice and graceful. step back. You don't want to take any hops ever in gymnastics, as we've been told throughout the years, but especially you don't want to give away those tenths. On the compulsories, 9.85. And onto floor exercise. The dance could be more crisp, I'm seeing already. I would like to see a little more crisp presentation of the and that leap as well. Bring it up to 180. That front aerial just floated. That was really pretty. Into the corner. I would just like a little more extension of her arms and her kicks and everything. Just point those toes a little more. I have a critical eye, but I'm not apologizing for it. Here comes the 3/4 pirouette. Oh, she almost went the wrong way, but those steps aren't going to help her as well. Almost lost it there. That is one of the nervous aspects of this routine. Into the last pass or the dismount. Not too bad. I mean, she didn't explode out of the back handsprings. Into this full pirouette. Keep your leg up. The leg was a little low right there. A little low. After seeing Yurchenko, that 9.65 is just about right. It just didn't grab your attention. So onto the vault right now for the handspring full. Which is a hop. It was controlled. A slight pike in the pre-flight. When she opened up, it helped to overpower her, so she took that step. She's going to want to go for a perfect landing here. Better heel drive. Out of control though. She'll keep the first. Oops, she's a little dizzy there. That is it for the compulsories. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will be discussing the team optionals next. The first gymnast up is from the Soviet Union, Tatiana Frolova. She does a Sukahara layout with a slight little hop, but overall a pretty good vault to start off with. She has a slight form break in the pre-flight. Her legs come apart. That is supposed to be a deduction. Clean landing. Natalia Ilenko, second up from the Soviet Union. 6 gymnasts that compete. Lowest score is drop. 5 highest scores make up the team total on each event. Handspring front with a half. Sloppy in the air, but you can't argue with a landing like that. That was absolutely clean. Stuck landing. We're going to see what the judges do with that form deduction. On bars, Simona Rențiu from Romania. And she does a Jaeger somersault and down to the low bar. Stalder skills, straddled toe on, up to the high bar. You can see how close the bars are together, and it really would take a long time. The bars do move further and further apart this decade and the next. Rențiu from Romania. Ilenko got a 9.9 on the previous vault. Albina Shishova. Full twisting Yurchenko. The Yurchenko vault had already been done by Natalia Yurchenko. It bears the name Yurchenko. Laura Kutina, we do know that she went to the 1984 Olympics, so she's a sturdy competitor for them and remains on the team the following season for the Olympics. She's a very clean gymnast. There's very few issues. You do want to keep your arms straight on those cast to handstands. A switch grip giant into a Jaeger. And that 80s style of doing releases, you are close to the bar, almost underneath it. The way that they do the deltoids and the Jaegers, the style has changed, the technique has changed throughout the time when gymnasts are able to do giant swings. Double tuck, clean landing, clean in the air. From the side, I don't think the judges will deduct much for that dismount. And she looks relieved by that, huh? Up next we have Olga Mastepanova, one of the legends in history. 1984 Olympics, the Soviet Union boycotted, so we did not get to see a matchup of Olympic powers, which would have been fireworks. I think we all know that the results would have been a lot different in 1984 had the Soviets attended. She does a front handspring, front pike with a half twist, slight hop, clean in the air, and we are already on to Lavinia Gake. That release move is close. That is not a deduction in 1980s gymnastics. She's clean throughout, no deductions so far. Cowboy double tuck. She sticks it though, so you can't really argue too much with that. I've seen this competition before, and I do think that that does get a perfect score. And it's just back and forth because you're going to see there's a lot of perfect tens in this competition. Olga Mastepanova, on her second vault, it's a front handspring, front pike with half twist. Great landing, great vault. She gets perfect 10 for that. The previous score was indeed a 10 for Agake, and Szabo is next. She hops over the low bar, transitions up to the high bar. Great handstand into a versect. Swings down. That's not an extra swing. That was okay back in the 80s. Nowadays, that would be probably a 3/10 on each side extra swing deduction. Nice toe on pike to handstand. A severe arch into that double tuck landing. Clean dismount for the 80s. I'm going to say for the 80s a lot, guys, but you'll see the judges are a lot more lenient there. She receives a perfect 10, so we're going back and forth, back and forth. Soviet Union scoring 10s, Romania answering with 10s. Mastepanova did get a perfect 10 on that front handspring front pike half. And up comes the 1981 World All-Around Champion, Olga Bicharova from the Soviet Union. The announcers are just announcing Mastepanova's 10, and probably Szabo's, she got a 10 as well. Front handspring pike. I think it was pike with a knee bend. She's waving to the crowd, very happy with that. Definitely not a perfect vault. So Szabo does get a 10 on that. So hey, we are going no deduction, back and forth. Soviet Union still is in first place. Here comes Yurchenko. The previous vault was in fact a 10. Now that's how you stick a full twisting Yurchenko tuck. Absolutely beautiful. It is named after her, you guys, so that's Natalia Yurchenko. Every time you do a vault, you're honoring her name. She does the back handspring. Tuck is not the most beautiful position on vault. It's a lot less common nowadays to see a tucked vault, but she is the originator. When she does the full twisting layout Yurchenko, that will also be named for her, but she started off doing it tucked, and why not? Because she scores a perfect 10 doing it. So that is the first rotation. The Soviet Union is in the lead, followed by Romania, East Germans, and then China in fourth.